MetaFour Productions is an educational nonprofit dedicated to engaging, entertaining, inspiring, and serving today's educational and informational needs. We produce classroom and online use video, educational media, emerging technology resources, and virtual spaces that advance curriculum objectives and motivate learning for all ages. MetaFour specializes in partnering with nonprofits, foundations, and educational organizations. We provide our clients professional, high-impact visual products, often on limited budgets. MetaFour provides full-service video production with on-location capability, including classrooms, for documentary and reenactment-style videos. Additionally, MetaFour specializes in a production style called multiplane illustration, a technique that combines the benefits of artistically rendered illustration and the dynamism of digital animation. There are many benefits for use of this style, including a great cost savings with a compelling end product, assuring a long shelf life for your production investment. This technique also affords complete flexibility in production design, location, and mood, as well as complete diversity with ethnicity, age, and gender of on-screen characters that are desirable for many projects.
MetaFour's award-winning educational and creative team collaborates with each client to artistically design all aspects of production, from pre- and post-production, planning, writing, editing, sound mixing, musical scoring, and graphics. We are also available to design ancillary products such as accompanying digital brochures, promotional flyers, and posters. We look forward to teaming with you to choose the best options for your production.
doing what you want to do, pursue it. If you're a gardener and you love gardening, that's the answer. I was brought up in a town in Midwestern Canada. When we went to high school, to elementary school, we knew everybody. There was a population of like 4,000. I will never forget the name of Mary Hamilton. Mary Hamilton was an English teacher who loved theater. And she loved me. And she started me on wanting to be an actress. Sometimes I've cursed her, but I've loved every second of being an actor. First of all, a town with one movie theater, you went to movies like 2 or 3 times a week. I do remember falling in love, Claudette Colbert. Being a kid in a town, I didn't think that much of myself. I felt inferior. Mary Hamilton might have recognized that. She cast me in the first play I was in. That was it. This is what I wanted to do, be an actress. The next step was I fell in love with a Jewish boy, and his name was Chuck Day. When I was 9 years old, I pointed to him in the schoolyard and said, "That's the boy I'm going to marry." I was never a lead, but I was cast through high school in supporting roles. After graduating from high school, my father wanted to move to Winnipeg. My father was an immigrant from Russia, and my mother was too. And so we moved to Winnipeg to start me in college. At the University of Manitoba, I got into plays. And I became a kind of a little well-known, she's going to go to Hollywood one day. I was very popular because I thought so little of myself. I was nice to everybody. God forbid somebody should say a cross word to me. I'm making fun of myself right now. I've changed considerably. But there was also a theater group called the New Theater. It was a socialist kind of company. So there, a director named Mercer McLeod, he conducted the classes, which was probably one of the most molding experiences and exposures that I had. We were doing the great writers who probably were on the Hollywood 10 during Joe McCarthy. I got into them because I tried out for them and was pretty good. It developed me a lot as an actress. This love of theater consumed me. And so I thought, wouldn't it be nice to study, because I'd heard about Maria Uspenskaya, who had a school in Hollywood, California. She was a Russian actress who had worked with the Moscow Art Theater. I applied for it. I was accepted. She was a tiny little woman with a braid in the back, very egotistical. She broke some people. She didn't break me. Maybe I didn't have the imagination to be broken. She was tough, but she loved what she was doing so much. We loved her. And that's where I learned more about the acting method. I went to school and lived in a rooming house in Hollywood, met some other roomers that were exciting, and one of them was a friend of Charlie Chaplin. After coming back from Hollywood, I had a job as a secretary, but I wasn't any good at it. I still had the passion. I still had the desire to be an actor. Saw Chuck. We got together. He had been to Harvard Business School, and we decided to get married, which was pretty fortunate for me. We had a beautiful wedding, and he looked wonderful. He was a merchandise manager, but he had dreams. So he took a job. We went to New York, and while we were living in New York, I decided to study with Uta Hagen You had to audition for her class. She was very stern and demanding and a wonderful teacher. She kind of liked me. Maybe she felt that there was a sort of connection because I was the older woman in the class. And so she was very nice to me and very, very helpful. And then suddenly, maybe I did, some of the scenes, I didn't quite live up to her expectations, and then it was a bad time. I'm remembering that, but still adoring the fact that I had worked with her. Herbert Berghoff was her husband. I went to his class, and parenthetically, one of the young men was Al Pacino, 17-year-old, wide-eyed, hair all over the place, brilliant student. I think we even did a scene together. It wasn't always wonderful. I remember coming back and kicking the stone at the sidewalk, thinking, "Oh, what are you doing? You're not doing it. You're nothing." I was doing some plays in New York, Boston, where we lived, Jacksonville, Florida, but still, fundamentally, being a wife and then a mother. That sounds so icky, doesn't it? My mother and father lived in Los Angeles, and we had been apart for a long time. And so to come to L.A. because of Chuck's work was a wonderful time for me. I didn't think in terms of, I got to crack the industry. I always did a little bit. I'd be in a play. I never, ever lost the love of doing it, but it was secondary to the family. That sounds so noble, doesn't it? It wasn't noble. It was just the way we were made. I was fortunate in getting an agent. I had been doing a lot of radio, and my voice was not deep and beautiful, but it was nice. When television came up and to be popular, I thought, I'll never make it because I'm plain. I'm almost middle-aged. I thought you had to be beautiful, gorgeous, young to be in TV. They need character actors, don't they? And that's how I got into TV. And it's been pretty nice. I played grandmothers to a lot of people. I even worked for Steven Spielberg. I was in a television show. I played an aunt or something like that. And Leo was a young kid. I would have forgotten that, except that when Titanic came out, I was really thrilled and pleased. Seinfeld. I'm very grateful to Jerry Seinfeld. He's used me several times. To this day, I can be recognized because I was on Seinfeld. And Blue Velvet, David Lynch. Instead of having me read, he talked to me. And we talked about small towns. Because I had come from a small town. He had come from a small town. And we just had an endearing discussion. He's absolutely the opposite of his movies. Oh yes, Adam Sandler was very nice. He has this quiet sense of humor, charming, cool. It was a delightful experience. Henry Winkler. I played his grandmother, and he said, indeed I was his grandmother, because he had lost his grandparents during the Holocaust. He was so warm. I'm going to preach a little bit. I believe very strongly, I'm an old woman, and I still believe if you do what you want to do, that's the answer to life. Love, yes, but doing what you want to do, pursue it. If you're a gardener and you love gardening, that's the answer. I'm so old and being one-legged, I could still be passionate about acting. All the television shows I've been in and all that. I have to look back and say, okay, it's all right now. I still would like to do it, but I have to think in terms of, I did have it. It was wonderful. To know what you want to do with your life and to go after it, whether it means in education, going to school, just studying and aligning yourself with activities that you enjoy, that's the answer. Well, not the answer, the only answer to life, because loving somebody is also the answer.